Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Nabemba tukozo kalabansi tien di kalabansi akhale chimire amene ali ndi zimene amagwirira ntchito ali chimire. Allow me to welcome you to the Central Office of Information under the Ministry of Information and Digitalization, where tonight we are hosting the Ministry of Trade. The Minister himself, Honorable Engineer Vitumbiko Mumba, having listened to the complaints and comments that have been making rounds in the past week or so, mainly regarding the issue of cement distribution in the country, he decided that we should host this press conference so that we appraise Malawians, those watching us from home, others are watching us online and listening to us while they are driving to various places, and even the audience that is in this hall tonight. I would want to believe that an opening prayer has been said. If it hasn't, may you all be blessed. But without much ado, I will throw the mic to the Honorable Minister of Trade. Honorable Minister, before you take the floor, ndimafuna tinene kuti nkhani ya cement, kuvuta kwa cement, kapena kukwera mitengo mopanda dongosolo, yatenga nthenje kwambiri masabata awiri amenewo. Tamva President Lazarus Chakwera akuyankhulapo pa nkhaniyi, koma poyankhulapo paja anakutchulani pa maforum angapo na amanena kuti inuyo ntchito imeneyi ikhala ntchito imodzi imene akuyembekezera kuti muthandizane nawo. Tinakumvaninso inuyo mukupereka a warning shot kwa iwo amene akusunga dala cement, munena munaimbitsa pena nyimbo ya Peter Tosh umanena zoti kukhala Mariana ndikukhulupirira kuti kwa ena it could be taken as the timing of this problem ikozokhala maesero akulu kwambiri kwa inuyo komanso tosefe. Ndikupempheni kuti mukhonza kupereka statement yanu. Pakumaliza pazo says at the end of the statement by the Honorable Minister, the floor will be opened for questions pertaining to this issue, but allow me also to say as government chief spokesperson that we have stayed for quite some time without interacting with the media. So there could be other issues, not specifically attached to the issue of cement. We will give you the liberty to ask all other questions. Those that we don't have responses to, we'll tell you honorably that we're not going to respond to those, but the floor will be open for general questions after we have exhausted questions pertaining to the issue that we are here to discuss tonight. Honorable Minister, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Honorable Minister of Information, Honorable Kunkuyu, Honorable Deputy Minister of Transport, Honorable Steve Baba Malondena, Secretary for Trade and Industry, Madam Christina Zakeyo, Secretary for Information and Digitalization, Mr. Baldwin Chiamaka, all senior government officials present here, CEO of Competition and Fair Trading Commission, Mr. Lloyd Vincent Coma, esteemed members of the press, officials from Malawi Congress Party present in this room, fellow citizens, good evening. Zina, before we go to the main issue of cement, if you might allow me, to affirm his commitment towards the welfare of our farmers, President Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera directed my ministry to look at removing some of the bottlenecks that farmers face when selling their products, their produce to other countries. We looked at many non-trade barriers, and the major one was mutual standards recognition. Mutual standards recognition. This is whereby Despite being certified by Malawi Bureau of Standards, our products are subjected to the same certification process elsewhere. Let's say mulindi soya beans, kandi ntedza, kandi peanut butter, kunoko mwapanga certified ndi MBS. Mukatumiza ku Zambia, kandi ku Zimbabwe, ka Tanzania, kandi ku Mozambique, kandi ku Dubai. They wanted to go through the same certification process. And that becomes an untrade barrier, NTB. So one of the directives that Chakwera gave us, can you please work on these, some of the NTBs? And we embarked on this journey with various countries, including some in the Middle East and Southeast Asia. Malawi Bureau Standards and my ministry have worked hard and will continue to do so in as far as removing this major NTB is concerned. Tonight, I would like to advise Malawians that the Chakwera-led government and the government of the Republic of Zambia took a significant step towards enhancing regional trade and cooperation by signing the Mutual Recognition Agreement on Conformity Assessment under the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa COMESA framework. On 11th August 2025, I signed the agreement on behalf of my government. Signing the agreement on behalf of government of Zambia was the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Ruben Mtolo Piri. This was done in Lusaka, and the signing ceremony was witnessed by my counterpart, Honorable Chipoka Mulenga, Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry. This agreement underscores the commitment of both governments to facilitate trade through mutual recognition of a conformity assessment process, promising new opportunities for farmers, traders, and consumers, thereby fostering economic growth across borders. Commodities covered under the Malawi-Zambia MRA includes maize, groundnuts, beans, rice, soybean, and sorghum. This means ngati chintu kunoko achipanga certify IMBS these 6 products for a start. When taking them to Zambia, you don't need to go through the same certification process. The Zambian Bureau of Standards will accept what MBS has certified. Similarly, ku Zambia nakoso, whatever is certified by the Bureau of Standards, kunoso nafeso will accept the same certification process. This is a big milestone as far as trade is concerned. Soon, we'll be signing an agreement with Zimbabwe, and this will continue until such a time when all the processes at Malawi Bureau of Standards are certified by the International Standards Organization. Remember, if all our processes at MBS were certified by ISO, it means we'll send our products anywhere without being subjected to certification process in those countries. At the moment, we are not yet fully certified by ISO. Only some of the processes are certified by ISO at MBS. And MBS is working hard together with our ministry to make sure that every process at MBS is certified by the International Standards Organization. Without that, at the moment, other countries, Samarura Katundu, open the ISO certification. The only way out is to agree with those particular countries to have MRA, Mutual Recognition Assessment, whereby they can accept what MBS has certified. MBS has made a lot of progress such that some of their processes have already been certified by ISO. It is a bit costly to get everything done by ISO, but the Chakwera government has prioritized that. The process at MBS should be certified by ISO. To our bilateral partners, to our donors, and all those that work with us and finance some of our projects, your assistance in financing the process of getting the remaining processes at MBS certified by ISO will go a long way, not only in uplifting lives of our traders and farmers, but also proving your commitment to a better Malawi and a better Africa. Another second item for tonight. we signed a protocol with the Republic of China. This is a big milestone for our country. Many countries are yet to get there, but Malawi has been one of the few countries that has achieved this milestone. In order to create more markets for commodities produced in the country, on June 12, 2025, Malawi and the People's Republic of China signed a protocol on the export of macadamia nuts to China. This landmark protocol will allow all macadamia nuts from Africa to enter Chinese market under the conditions and regulations laid down by the General Administration of Customs of the People's Republic of China. Currently, our macadamia nuts, just like other agricultural products, go into China through other countries who end up benefiting more than our farmers do. I was told by officials from China and other organizations when I was in China in June that some of macadamia nuts were going into China via Vietnam, because Vietnam had a kind of agreement in China. So some will get our products from here, soya beans, groundnuts, macadamia nuts, export them through Kenya, Tanzania, and other countries, Burundi, and then they take them into Vietnam and they add value there. Whatever they do, they package them properly because they've got agreements with Chinese government. They send them as Vietnamese macadamia nuts or Vietnamese soya beans or groundnuts, not as Malawian products. So this signing for this agreement, this protocol with China on macadamia nuts is a big milestone for macadamia farmers, because they have been complaining and crying because those that take them to China directly make more profits from the Malawian macadamia nuts than the local farmers who get exchanged by middlemen who sell to other countries. So this is a major milestone, and we are doing more. We're trying to work out another produce like soya beans, groundnuts, whatever we produce. We can have protocols with various countries, but this is a major milestone. The signing of this agreement with the Chinese government is a milestone that underscores President Chakwera's agenda of empowering Malawian farmers and traders who I strongly believe are listening to me right now. To farmers and traders, if you want to achieve real economic growth, vote for Chakwera on 16 September 2025. Because he has your welfare and is proving it by removing some NTBs, non-trade barriers, that have been affecting your produce and your business. For more information on this, please contact Malawi Investment and Trade Center. They will be able to assist you. But all macadamia farmers are aware of this, and all those that are trained in academia, they are aware and they have appreciated this, and some have already started working on how they can directly export to China. Now to the hot issue of cement. About 4.5 months ago, when the government of Malawi, through my ministry, made a decision to prohibit the importation of goods that we could produce locally, every patriotic Malawian and those in the productive sectors, except, and I mark this, except the Transporters Association of Malawi, applauded us. TAM, the so-called Transporters Association of Malawi, believed a lie from elsewhere that we banned the importation of bananas. And because some of the members transport bananas from Tanzania to Malawi, they went berserk, attacking me personally and attacking my ministry through a number of press statements. Per week, we never responded, because we don't respond to people that make baseless claims. Otherwise, it won't be a government of responding to anything. One wonders as to what their motive was, but that is how sometimes Malawians behave. You're trying to move northwards of things, they'll pull you southwards. You're trying to move eastwards, they'll pull you westwards. And the ban is still in place, in force. And I would like to inform Malawians that most of the farmers have found their products on our supermarkets, and that should make everyone proud. Farmers of Kachowere and in Chisi, some of them came to our office to thank us that now they can sell their products in supermarkets in Sana, in Chipiko, and in ShopRite. Tomatoes, onions, bananas produced by Malawians for the first time have found their market. They found themselves on the shelves in our Malawian supermarkets, which should make us all proud. And as long as this prohibition order is in place, it is the desire of President Chakwera to see Malawians improve in terms of quality and standards of their products while selling at affordable prices. That is very key. We cannot, and I repeat, we cannot be protecting Malawian traders and farmers at the expense of the consumer. Improve in terms of quality and standards of the products while selling at affordable prices. As a ministry, we promote the Buy Malawi, Build Malawi strategy for the betterment of Malawians and every one of us. Unfortunately, some scrupulous traders and manufacturers tend to abuse that by trying to make huge profits because of greed. That's why we're here tonight. This evening, I stand before you to address a matter of great concern that continues to impact the daily lives of Malawians, especially in the construction sector, that is, the persistent increase in the prices of cement. The cement industry has been and continues to be protected as a strategic sector that contributes significantly to the development of this country. Most of you are aware that prices of cement have skyrocketed over the recent past from 26,000 kwacha per bag 3 months ago to about 50,000 per bag right now, making the product unaffordable to many buyers. Maka Mashado MPs in the Afa Kwambiri, and they're the ones who are crying the most because they're trying to do some work in the constituency. They're Afa Kwambiri, cement than a construction industry. Mashado, Ababa, Kunkuyu, Mashado and Zanka, Nazo. But in order to ensure that cement is readily available on the market and is affordable by many, the Chakwera government has undertaken the following measures. On 12th August, the Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry in Zambia, Honorable Chipoka Mulenga MP, and I met the two major producers of cement in Zambia. The first meeting was held with Brian Chen, the CEO of Chilanga Cement Company Limited, who agreed to supply Malawi with 300 tons of Portland cement per day. That's per day. As we speak, Panopa, okay, I'll come there later on. And again, we managed to negotiate the price per ton. Tengomene, my traders in Malawi, I'm already at Zambia factory. So the price is $114 per ton, but we agreed for $105 per ton after successful negotiations with our counterparts, which makes our even distributors are happy now that there's a $9 discount from the Zambian manufacturers. I held a similar meeting with Sinoma Company Limited, who proposed to supply cement again at the same price, $105 per ton for the 32.5 cement, while $118 per ton for the 42.5. That is $7 less than the actual selling price that side. Government has also removed the 10% surcharge on imported cement. This surcharge was put in place because local producers, manufacturers, and distributors complained kuti cement yoka ku Zambia aku cheaper than watu nde ifeyo buy mwana strategies ukanika because watu ndo odula nde mambuyo omo panaikida 10% surcharge kuti katulu oko yakhala no odula pang'ono to give room to protect our producers and our traders and our distributors. So this was initially imposed to shield cement produced in Malawi from international competition, but the abuse of this goodwill is just unacceptable. You come to us, you complain, we need to protect. We're like, fine, we'll protect you. We protect you, then you come back and hit us. That's totally unacceptable. I spoke to my colleague and comrade, Honorable Simplex Chichola Banda. MRI has written this already, and the gazette is ready. It should be gazetted any day this week, because we already have got the initial bunch of 12,000 bags of cement at Mchinji border right now. We're waiting for this to be gazetted before MRA can finally remove. But everything has been done, just an internal process, which we believe that come tomorrow or come Friday, it shall be removed, and the initial bunch of cement will be cleared at the border and start getting into the market locally. And again, there will be no guiding value on imported cement from Zambia. It was set some years ago to protect local companies. By the way, Komesa imalesa kunea kuti katundu pakuda mu Komesa tipangapo add guided value. So Ministry of Trade issued a 10.5% guided value on cement. Kulibe ntengo jokwerebe wa imported cement, so that our local producers should be shielded. That we have communicated, and I signed the letter this morning. We have removed the guided value from the imported cement from Zambia. In order to boost supply of cement, we will import the product from Zambia. Cement will start arriving in the country this week. As I said, 12,000 bags are already by the border, but we're waiting for this gazetting of the 10% charge. We should be ready tomorrow or Friday. Then they'll create the initial batch of cement. It is therefore my expectation that the market will soon be flooded with cement, and the prices will be reduced accordingly. As of yesterday, as I've said, we already had about 2,000 bags of cement at Chipara and Mchinji, but now it's at Mchinji. So we should be getting there before the end of this week. The consignments are waiting for the gazetting of the removal of the surcharge for the cement to be cleared. Cameroon General. Apart from aiming at assisting Malawi to boost the supply of cement on the domestic market, the two meetings mentioned above and the intervention undertaken will reverse the price of the commodity that has reached 50,000 per 50 kg bag on the domestic market. It is our hope that it will go below 35,000 kwacha, where it was before this nonsense began. As a short-term measure, Cement Products Limited and Portland Cement Limited have committed to increase deliveries to the central region and northern region, where supply challenges have been the most prevalent. So these two normally supply the eastern and southern region. The others supply the central and northern region. But now we met them and agreed that let them push volume in this side as well. Let them push volume this side so that we're able to meet. But for this meeting was last week. It was last week, I think. So they're still having challenges because they're going at the abrupt. Let me warn people not to abuse the Buy Malawi strategy by charging exorbitant prices and holding cement and any other commodity to create unnecessary disruptions on the market. It's just unacceptable. I also wish to, this Englishman, reiterate, R-E-I-T-E-R-A-T, reiterate, what do you pronounce it? Reiterate, thank you, Honorable Kunkuyu, reiterate. I wish also to reiterate that enterprises engaging in holding and in excessive or exploitative pricing of cement will face the full arm of the law. Traders are reminded that the Competition and Fair Trading Act under Section 51G prohibits excessive and exploitative pricing. Errant enterprises therefore risk being sanctioned with monetary penalties of up to 10% of their annual gross turnover, not profit. That's what is in the Act. 10% of the annual gross turnover, not profit. Some businessmen have been advising us that we shouldn't have taken the aforementioned measures before consulting them. Who are you? You come to Malawi, you naturalize, we accept you as a Malawian, we protect you, you ask for protection, then you come and you hit us behind our backs. Now, when you were increasing your prices, did you consult us? Did you warn us? Did you inform us? Then because of taking measures to protect the consumers, the local people, you are calling my PS, you are calling me, you are calling directors. Why didn't you consult us before going crazy with your prices? You thought you were clever and smart. This we're not reversing. Whether your companies, your factories will crash, as long as we protect the consumer, the local Malawians whom you're exploiting, will not reverse this until we have seen that there's some sense in your heads. You did that with the previous government, I know for sure, but not this one. Not the Chakwera government. If you thought you'd bring down this Chakwera government in favor of those that entertain your unethical practices, be ready to be brought down yourself, and we'll do that nicely. This is just the beginning of the beginning. By the way, I'm an engineer. Most prayers in the construction industry, Mwafunse, I'm a journalist, Mwafunse. Ask Malaysian engineers, they prefer Zambian cement than our locally produced cement. That's a fact. That is a fact. Most prayers in the construction industry, I remember the time we had this BSCC Engineers Day, National Construction Engineers World Day. There are several people displaying their products, and Honorable Buhala asked a question to one of the producers of cement. The setting, oh sorry, that's too technical now. The setting time or whatever. But because I'm marketers, technical questions. You know? So most people in the construction industry prefer Zambian cement than to our locally produced cement for many reasons in terms of consistency, quality, and strength. Samabange protect zindoti zionongaso ziduzina no. Let me get to the yellow for tender, the last one item on tonight's agenda. I would like to encourage Malawians to take part in the tender for the resale of sugar that Ilovo recently reported in the media. The tender closes on 16th of August. This is on Saturday. It's closing. But I want to say this. Let me urge Ilovo Malawi Limited to consider the suffering Malawians go through when some of their distributors hold sugar. Ndikunena kuti ndipemphe a Ilovo akamapanga evaluation yawo and akamapanga award matenda successful bidders aganizire amalawi amene amazunzika ndi ma distributors amene amapanga hold sugar amene amabisa sugar. I'm not sure, I didn't see the tender document yawo because sometimes it's always good, like in construction, litigation issues or you'll be disqualified. Now, if you contract now you didn't execute them as per the contract agreement, you'll be disqualified. I'm not sure if the tender included those clauses in their document that protects the consumers. Because I'll say this, and I like being straight and honest. Others are perennial holders of sugar. Sugar. You find some distributors, they hold sugar. So if Ilovo is serious about the welfare of the consumers and not the welfare of a few distributors, Ilovo have to really show that in the manner that they handle this tender. Again, my ministry is to blame one or the other because andamadinena kuti ya ikutrediko ena anu mwipasalale ya distributors ena chimozi kuirovo sonakoso kuli anthu ena ali masala amajana ama distributors whether true or not I know appears I don't know tikunyane bwino afterwards it apanga the people say that atusaka kukwira ndi sugar kusowa they'll make several claims but underline this, but the way we deal with issues can either give credence to such claims or not. I repeat, the way we deal with issues can either give credence to that claim or not. Sometimes umadaba muntu awubesa import permit or export permit abino wake ndusiku kitoto message kuti abana ima panga approve achimwene ndi banja atu kutama safari mwenye kubanji kodi. Is it work or is it something beyond work? Sindu na amatu sima yangu mango yangu okay, all right. So the way we deal with issues can give credence to claims. How come are you always upanga zintu mbali ngati yokondira ena ake? People are justified to make such allegations because you cannot have habitual offenders getting contracts every year and my ministry also continuing issuing licenses every time such enterprises apply for licenses. Mukuziwa kuti if you kundura kwatu tukuziwa kuti I want to give an example of someone here. We'll give an example. No, a journalist. They're all new faces here. Malenga, who can I give an example? Oh, Taonga Sabora. Atonga Sabora. Every time I'm a sugar, but when I apply for license, we issue licenses with no conditions, no warnings. Now, if people blame good trade if we can't blame them because we cannot have habitual offenders being issued licenses every year without any consequences. And again, you find that you know of another dealers as well. Every time there's a contract, the same people who are giving us problems of holding sugar are getting tenders. It does not make sense, but this is Malawi, maybe it makes sense. As Minister of Trade, we have taken a step. We have looked at our Business Licensing Act of 2012, and since it is being reviewed by Council Chapusa Piri here with us, we are including a clause that prohibits habitual offenders from being issued licenses for a certain number of years, depending on the offense. This Business Licensing Act soon it will go to cabinet for approval and the like, then go to parliament. We have inserted a clause, sugar. Once we have found with it as a shop because of holding sugar, we will be not issuing you licenses, either for 2 years or 3 years. Because but not with this government. I would like to tell Malawians that this is an assurance to you Malawians. I would like to tell Malawians that if the bids of habitual holders of sugar are successful and they start engaging in their usual acts, we no longer go to their shops and close the shops. The Chakwera-led government will be left with no option but to flood the market with sugar from Brazil and India or elsewhere, which is cheaper. That's the stand the Minister of Trade has taken. The good thing, we have got Salima Sugar Company, sugar Brazil, India, and we can go Amakara open the vitamin A. We can bring the sugar, work with Salima Sugar Company, and fortify it with vitamin A and distribute through Salima Sugar Company. Fair and nice. That's how we deal with this issue once and for all. So it's not a warning. I'm just telling you in advance. So if those who hold sugar, habitual offenders, they happen to in a contract about by Ilova, and it hold sugar. We not negotiate. Enough is enough. Or import sugar to the sugar company from Ilovo. It's our company from Brazil. It's much cheaper. Much cheaper. Countries like Mauritius, Amapanga sugar. Sugar oja, Amagurisa Guina, Ndiguoda go Brazil, for use in Mauritius. Amakro cheaper than what we just. That's how cheap Brazilian sugar is. Mauritius, maybe a small percentage of sugar, the rest of the sugar they produce, Amagurisa Gunja. Meaning we do Brazil, not sugar. So we bring with an option, but import. from elsewhere. And it's not a warning. You don't go in advance for the sake of protecting the local producers. There'll be people, my company jobs but not at the expense of the local people in the villages who have to buy sugar at 8,000. No. That's because someone is holding sugar. On the same note, and this one, I'll say it with emphasis, without fear of contradiction, and without any iota of regret. There is one distributor of sugar by the name of Simama, who has taken me personally to court as a minister, not the ministry. We closed the shop at 8:24 for various reasons. One of them being that I found him selling sugar at 2 a.m. We found 17 trucks. Where's Jivati Gonwe? Is he here? From Zodiac? I don't know what he came on the site. I told him don't write an article because some distributors are claiming I'm coming after them. You see, ukamaja maungu, pompo ujaso nyemba, mbatata, umadzimbidwa eti. Umadzimbidwa chonjo. I don't know ntumbuka kutumba. I don't know what kutumba in Chichewa. Kuzimbidwa eti? Kuzimbidwa? Kuzimbidwa eti? Kutumba. Now, you can't say kuti can I prophesy? Ine ndidzimbidwa ine. Ukuja maungu, batata, nyemba. Can I prophesy? Can I go deeper? Ndidzimbidwa ine. It's straightforward guy. Uzimbidwa bi. Nikumbenge ine, nikumbenge. Ukuteta. Now, you are holding sugar. Ukubisa sugar. Then you're telling people Mumba is coming after me. So when Gawugwida was in Naguti, Maona is fighting me. Play those games with others, not with me. Please try others, not me. Again, my officers got hold of his truck, which was suspected of being used to hold and smuggle sugar in Karonga. We've got all details. He's been claiming all over that the Minister of Trade is fighting him. My brother here, Orsako Munde, was summoned at Simama's office in Karonga, Nunamangat, Orsako, by one of the sons. Your friend Mumba is fighting us. Hey, brother, and that's true. Not only him, several friends of mine whom they know that I'm close to them. I want to say this. Mera also, anapangapanisha Simama Umayo Simso oil for holding newspapers. Is that Mumba? Is that Mumba? Or someone will say, Kaya just fighting someone. This nonsense must stop. I want to tell people with money, you can get around other people with your money, not me. I'm talking to everyone. Those who believe that their worth is their fortress. My fortress is Mount Zion. We have full records of the number of times we found this particular distributor on the wrong side of the law and their shops closed. Not once, twice, 3 times, several times. I was Nazuka at 1 o'clock, Pidaku 24, when I was told by people, I was sugar on 12 o'clock. And I found 17 trucks. We had to offload those trucks. I need to call IPS in the end at and then before Nazimai usiku and the Minyazbuna Mabanya. So I left her until 6 o'clock. They came, found me there at 6 o'clock waiting. This is what has happened here. I have written a letter to the Attorney General. I hope appears Kuti, because he has taken me as a Minister of Trade, I'm joining the case in my personal capacity, and I've hired one ACC, a very respectable one, who is reviewing the files, and by Friday I'll get the feedback, and you know who it is. And I'll defend this, because that's the only way to deal with people who think they can fix us and instill fear in us. Some of us, we don't fear anything. We only fear God. That's all. Nothing else. I wish to thank you all members of the media for availing yourselves. Before I go there, we have received threats, some of us. We have received threats. Some members of staff at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, by the so-called distributors, Akuti Mumba, Afrana, Business Yatu, just because we are urging Malawians and Ilovo to open up sugar distribution. What's wrong with that? Just because we have told Ilovo, open up the tenders and we encourage Malawians to participate. We have received threats. Real threats. But we'll go ahead and defend what is right and do what is right. I wish to thank all members of the media for availing yourselves this evening to cover this important event. Please continue playing the critical role of informing and educating the entire nation of Malawi. I want to conclude by saying, let me conclude with a quote from 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, which reads, "For God did not give us a spirit of timidity or cowardice or fear, but He has given us a spirit of power and love and of sound judgment and personal discipline, abilities that result in a calm, well-balanced mind and self-control." Please do not confuse our biblically driven boldness for Puma or Madama, as most like to put it. Don't get it twisted. I thank you all for listening.
Minister, thank you very much for that elaborate presentation. Mongana nagale vakozo kala mafuso nkale kuti kufotokozera kwamveka bwino kwambiri and zotenga pita nazo ku nyumba tatenga komabe vakozo kala funso lokuti pakuti simunamvetse pa statement imene apereka minister. Then ndipange invite mafunso. You may raise your hand and present your question after introducing yourself and the media institution that you are representing. Ndipempe, let's be straight to the point. No preambles, no comments. Let's just ask the question. And ngadena funsagale disafuse sufuso romero. Kathy, we start with you there. Can we please provide the mic?
Minister, mwakambapo kunena kuti sugar tukugula ku Zambia. Mukukamba za cement. Sorry, cement. Amene akugulwa kuchoka ku Zambia. Mukukamba za madollars.
Afterwards.
Okay, nkhani ya cement amene akukambidwa akugulwa kuchoka ku Zambia. Mukukamba za madollars. $105 per ton. Kumalawi kunoko nkhani kukambidwa mavuto ena amene akhoza dziko la Malawi ndi forex. Ndalama zimene zizikukambidwa madollars zichoka kuti ndikufuna muphatikize ponso ndi nkhani yokhudza sugar amene mukunena kuti akapitiriza kubisa sugar ma shops ena ma companies ena ngati boma mupanga chiganizo choti mungopita ku Brazil mukukambanso kumene kozogula sugar. Ndikufuna muyankhire limodzi kumene kuti forex yogulira sugar ndi cement amene titenga kuti since Malawi is already struggling with forex. Nkhani ina ya Buy Malawi mwakambapo zitsanzo zingapo kunena kuti companies za ku Malawi kuno anthu ku Malawi kuno akhala kumapempha boma kuti amuna tapanganizi kuti tilimbikitse Buy Malawi strategy koma zikuoneka kuti akukupangani chipongwe. Nde mukunena kuti inu ngati boma mukuganiza kuti bora muthandiza Malawi zinazo muzisiyapo mukuchita abandon Buy Malawi strategy.
Zikomo kwambiri. Ine ndi Patrick Kachere kuchokera ku Umunthu FM. Mwakambapo mfundo zosiyana-siyana zimene unduna wanu wachitapo koma Malawi akufuna atamvetsetsa kunena zoti mwina chiyembekezo choti katundu wina atsika liti chifukwa anthu ambiri madera osiyana-siyana akudandaula za kukwera mtengo kwa katundu osiyana-siyana. Zikomo.
Ndine Bridget Mwanonga kuchokera ku Luntha Television. Mene mmafotokoza nduna zimadzamveka ngati kuti munali ndi masomphenya kuti katundu wina ngati cement amene atha kukwera mtengo koma nuna ngati chifukwa chani munadikira kuti zinthu zifike kaye nkhosi kuti mupange act.
I never said you were masomphenya. Don't. I never said that. Speak the truth. I never said that masomphenya kuti katundu kwera mtengo. Nena kuti those people who have increased prices, they never warned us or told us. They should not come back to us. Why did we not consult them before going to Zambia? So please, paraphrase your question. Otherwise, your premise is wrong.
Okay, komano nchifani mwadikira kuti zinthu zifike nkhosi kuti mwambo panga act pamavuto amene ali mdziko muno ngati akukwera mtengo wa cement.
Dzina langa ndi Robert Chandilira kuchokera ku Blantyre Synod Radio. Olemekezeka nduna mafotokozapo kuti
Ngati sinodi ukanamba kani pemphero kai ka.
ndimona kuti pemphero
Mpere all right, continue.
pemphero ambuye alipereka kale pamenepo.
Okay, continue. Please, awawa asikati pemphero.
Ayi tipika kuti ambuye ati ankhula motani.
Amen.
Chabwino munafotokozerapo kuti ndondomeko yonse ikatheka zizichitika kuti matumba osachepera 300,000 mwina per day. 300 tons. Komanso zimenezi zichititsa kuti amalawi vuto amene akhala kumana nalo losowa cement lichepe. Komano mwina mutangotsindika kuti munafotokozanso kuti mwina unduna wa zachuma komanso MIA ali kalikiliki kuthamangitsa mapepala kuti chilichonse chitheke. Ndiyeno mwina amalawi ali ndi chidwi kuti kodi ndondomeko imeneyi ngati unduna mukuona kuti ikhoza kukhala kuti idayamba kutheka kuyambira liti? Amalawiwa ayamba kupeza cement otsika mtengo kuyambira liti? Thank you.
I think we can take that session.
All right, Nyambindi Mineo, moderator Sinodi, Abrantoya, Lebandis Gambo. All right, Nankuratu Gudi, hopefully by the end of this week, because once that take a gale, Tinamba Gautu is a cement from Zambia some days ago, push 12,000 bags. That's a lot. So we don't lose one day. Kama ziba boda hapa, tutangodika ndi gazetting ya remove of surcharge 10% because yoyo imenapanga through gazette. Kwa hiyo zinazo ni just a letter from us. Tapanga kutoka MRA, ni pombo. Word of mouth as well from the minister is enough an instruction, but we have done, formalized everything. So we are hoping that the gazette will be done, and then Friday, Aron General Momuno, ndiye ako Minister of Justice, ndutume tutolewa atamangisa, kuti abanga gazette, once the abanga gazette ndo basi. So it just depends when will the gazetting take place. Ndekuti katundu ambolowa malaya. But as we speak on over 12,000 bags or more, even much more now, are already by the border. That again answers the question Nana Fusa Zanga Wakulunta Nagudi is Nkosi. Tivane Goba, there's too much talking Mambuyo of President Zambilimbili. In as media support Papa Makamera pa Runtam, Nafsa Wadi, Timadigila perfume Kosi. You cannot move 12,000 barrels of cement in a day, it's a day. Number of Bagali's minister, not and we engaged the producers. When was that? For 5 August, we engaged the producers. This is happening. What the bunch? It was an issue of volumes. And sometimes there's a forex here. Cement among the Kunkuyu. Zinazi atamana forex. Pesa kuti. Anyway, but the thing is, we started some time ago. That's why we've been able to push the bags of cement at the border, and we know so akubera. So city madiki they are good to kosia. Kongo zintuzi. And who they are musa chatira. And who is a political game. That's a fact. Because in our ana tuko kwambili ntaya ena jam. That's why they have the guards to come to us telling us kuti tikanape mpaka tikanapanga kai konzati kuti kodi banji mwapanga za Zambia mtana fika ife ino ndani. Boma, in why should we come to you and kufusan? So see my legal film Kosia, it was because of some other processes mabanga kuti cement ambe kubera. Za by my strategy, Kathy, we are not abandoning my strategy. I think it's invested in I can leave you the statement. I said, maybe during Gesso, Nana Guti. Nipange warn and napanga abuse by Malawi strategy. In as much as we protect Malawians, the by Malawi strategy. As much as we protect Malawians, farmers, producers, traders, with the by Malawi strategy, don't abuse it. Because if the abuse continues, then the minister will have an option to let other goods from other countries coming to Malawi and compete. The restriction notice was aimed at promoting locally produced products, but it seems they won't take advantage of that. Like for instance, cement, anadibempa, pangano chakuti, boma inaganiza surcharge na ikapo. Ganizaso gari value na ikapo. Not only that, even Panopa, we have not opened up the borders for cement. Timapanga issue import license as and when. Let's say we do a dealer, distributor. Let's say for instance, Landera sells cement. Every time they're importing, they apply to my office for what? An import permit. So the minister has the right to refuse or to accept. We've done that with a purpose. And even the local manufacturers are the paso. Many people are importing cement to Kunja. Just 2 weeks ago, that 2 weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, I think we are too blind, or we're too kind, yeah? Another way to go face. Yeah, there's too much importation of cement from Zambia. Bwanji. Most of the issue import permit. My distributors as a candidate from us, could if they pay up supply, see that straight. They pay up supply, they can now get from outside the country. Tinavo Mirado. Could in the Sabora or in the Outwork in the Marenga, Nufuna cement will go. If they don't supply you, then it will be you can now import. We accepted. Only 2 weeks later down the line, no. That's why we have done that. So we are not, and will never abandon the Buy Malawi, Build Malawi strategy. Which, this issue of protecting our people should not to be at the expense of the local consumers in Tambani, in Madede, my constituency, in Mayani, just because a few who are traders and distributors want to make a killing out of it. No. Sometimes you have to look at what is better in the interest of everyone. So it's just logical to do so, but not now. We are promoters, and I'm an advocate of Buy Malawi, Build Malawi strategy, and we champion that through Chakwera's government. We are warning people not to take advantage of that and abuse it. Magambaza forex. Kuti forex muitenga kutiko. Tugula mafuta forex ilipo. Tugula fertilizer. We nakubwera forex. Don't worry about that. Forex ilipo. We'll be able to manage that as we are managing with fuel and as managing with fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. Ndikukhulupirira kuti mafunso okhuza iziwo aperekedwa, right?
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, Karundi Wina Sikali said, yeah. It's you, huh? From which radio station? Umuntu kwambiri dead. Uone gas. Even Mlometira Mos. All right. Now, you see, for instance, Panopa, Kware, Obanga double the price from December, from February to date. Kware has now doubled the price, but they don't import anything. Ntengo mafuta ndio mweo from Jani. So when you look at the components, they are the same. Nothing has increased. Could it be inflation? But they have doubled the price of Kware. Our ministry officials went and they are working with the Department of Mines because it's interministerial kind of stuff. We're working with Ministry of Mines. I don't know, Anapita? Not yet, because we are liaising with our friends from Ministry of Mines. Why? That's why to me they are my next on the agenda, because they are derailing the construction agenda. We buy Kasharan and the quarry from them. It's all to derail Chakwera's agenda for the construction in this country. That's what they are being targeted. So that is why, because of I told General Pompano, you can agree with me. When we cried to the president, he gave us Chapusa Piri. I don't know, thank you for that. Tupanga review some other things. And again, we are in the final stages of finalizing the essential goods and services bill, Comanso economic sabotage bill. With this, we can control prices. Is Lepanopa? We can control prices. They are my traders. They'll go to court. Last time we at Nakaruzaboma go court. It's fine. It's too up on appeal, but it's too more. We lost. So we are working on, we're learning some gaps. Okay, but gap. So we have been pushing from March. Could it marry finalization ya consultation on economic sabotage bill, so essential goods and services bill, which will help us control this collusion as well as this unnecessary increase of prices. MBC, Ranifonio, please join there. Please. So, there are a number of goods that price of escalated, like our aquarewa. There is nothing to do with Forex, nothing to do with anything else. Miala diamuno Malawi, they crash it in the machine. What Forex is all about? Energy, nothing. But they're just taking advantage of the situation. And we know, we can't say much. We don't want to be blamed. Trust me. But we'll deal with them. And that's a fact I can say. I don't want to say much, but I think and we are getting there. I think in detail of Kankakwake, we're working on that, as I've said. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. I think we can say on the same issue.
Yeah, please. All right. From which?
My name is Caroline Dumais. I work for France 24.
France 24. I thought you say you're from Zodiac. I was like, gospel and do Okay. All right. Yes. What's your name again?
Caroline Dumais. I work for France 24. I have a general question on tariff. I see you doing a lot to protect your markets and your consumers, but you know that Washington has changed its policy recently. I would like to know what is the impact on Malawi's economy of this U.S. change of policy. What sectors are most affected, and how do you plan to mitigate the impact?
Thank you so much. We are still looking into that as a ministry. They gave me some thoughts, which I'm still evaluating. And on this one, we are doing as much as possible to do silent diplomacy on this. We had the U.S.-Africa Business Summit in Angola a few months ago, which I attended on behalf of the president. I met the officials from the USA, we discussed, and again, as the Africans Ministers of Trade, we had a conference, just a few of us with the US. We are discussing, and we are hoping that we'll reach an amicable solution as we move forward. But at the same time, that's what I was telling my counterpart in Zambia when we had a meeting yesterday, that it's high time also Africa started looking at the trading within Africa. You look at Europe, 80% of your trade is within Europe. And the 20%, 11% is with America. No, 9% with America, and I think 5 or so thereabout with China. Then maybe Africa is 3 or 4%. You trade within amongst yourself. But as Africans, we want to go elsewhere where we are imposed with sanctions and with tariffs. It's high time Africa started trading amongst ourselves. In that way, we will not be subjected to transactional presidents. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. We have another one. Yes, please, Mr. Alex.
Honourable Minister, not to...
From where, my friend?
This is the real Zodiac now. No, my name is Alex Band, I work with Zodiac. Not to protract the issue of Forex, but we have experienced a strain on our Forex, tobacco being the major Forex earner. You are talking about Brazil and, of course, Zambia to bring in the cement. Is this not going to create another problem? I'm really interested to hear you elaborate on that, given the situation that we've already gone through.
All right. The Brazil na kuti university na kuichi jewa mwina. Onchitumbuka mwina apena. Nana kuti should distributors of sugar that have been habitual offenders be awarded the contract, fine and good, the law has been followed. But if they continue holding sugar, we'll be left with no option but import from elsewhere. Obviously, the Brazilian sugar is the cheapest in the world. We import from Brazil. The issue of cement from Zambia, we have been discussing, it's not only today, about 2 weeks ago, Mr. President. It is with the blessing of Chakwera and HH in Zambia. We've discussed the modalities and things are being managed. Yes, we have a strain on our forex, but it's not outside what we can manage. The situation is manageable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Pali mafuso ena ya tai. Andona to sono mikonoyo dade samelo kati maganizi na ndaya mwina ndikozo kweza so no we said we requested udikweza nimikono mufuse mafuso bwanji
Chawendi Robson Patson, our channel for nations, radio and TV. Anduna kugamba kwanu mukunena kuti nkhani yokhuza kuti sugar kwere mtengo cement balanthu ena amene akubisa katundu amene koma muliso ndi mwana wanu kumene ku Ministry of Trade, Competitions and Fair Trading Commission amene so amakhala kuyang'ana nkhani zokhuza mitengo komanso kuti kodi katundu akuchita bwanji pansika. Komanso mukunena kuti anthu amene amalonda amakupezani asanachite chilichonse kukufunsani mutipangire mwakuti ndi mapatsa kuti tichita kapena sitichita. Kodi zafika apa boma lilibe mphamvu kapena malamulo ena ake amene akhoza kufinya anthu amene wakunena kuti izi zingotheratu nanga CFTC tinene kuti kapena sikugona pa jute anthu kumasewera muno chifukwa amene akulira ndi Amalawi kumudziko. Nanga boma lilibe mphamvu loti likungothetsa ma certificate amene kapena mutani kupita kutsogoloko. Tidalilibe zopanga import ndi forex imene ichita kaye jenkhayi siko mwambiri.
Kufinya ndi umetafinya apa pako. Ukundi kufinya uko. By removing the surcharge, removing guiding value, ukundi kufinya yako. Alafu banopa IPS mwenda bafuna ngati. IPS mwenda bafuna ngati anthu akulira ndi utapanga apa pazi. Even now, see it? Busons mwenda bafuna ngati chapusa bafuna ngati. You get the point? Even when I was coming here, we are calling, please, before the press conference, Mumba, is this Mabangazi? You didn't say press conference because of you. No, I can't do that. It's because that's what I can say it. You understand? So, now going to teach license you. There are consequences. I don't want the general to come on me to Vitumbiko because our business licensing act 2012 is weak. Is behind the current times. And is 13 years when it was enacted. So, Ajapusa Wanga Review, Business Assessing Act, we are inserting the Mudimo, we can revoke license at any point in time. And I would my producer can my professor would they are very fair with us and just and the ministry, my mistake, taxpayers again, what who cover of money paying some disputers. We don't want to do that. So we're trying to make possible. I admit our business, I think in March, our Business Assessing Act, I went through it, Use my friends, my lawyer Zangodi, they helped me on pro bono and Zanga. But the guys, can you look at this? But you can't do this. I'm like, we can't do much. So kufinya kwa honta finya, but ufinya banji pamene manamula kukulesa ndio mangobwire ambuyo amanenda gonja so hapa. So the thing is, we are reviewing our Business License Act of 2012, and soon I think by the end of the year we should be able to go to. I think the experiment sitting we'll be able to take it there. Tipange enact that licensing act. So we will finya people along the way. We will with that act, and we will revise a lot of things there, as I said, as we're going along, and we believe that we'll come up with a better act that will serve the needs of Malawians. I hope Navian can say it. Anything else on that? All right.
Ndikukhulupirira kuti nkhani imene anabwera nayo anduna aza malonda ndikuti tayikambirana tayimaliza mafunso afunsidwa tidakalipo atakhala kuti mafunso ena mukhoza kulemba APS ali pano komanso officials from the Ministry of Trade are available and accessible, so mukhoza kuwalembera anytime. Ifenso as the Central Office of Information you can always reach us nthawi inayi yonse kuti patsa mafunso amene mungafune kuti afotokozeredwe. Si mafunso okhawo, this country is for all of us.
mukhoza khalanso ni suggestions and kulandira suggestions yesu umakhala kupusa umakhala kuti kuli anthu anzeru amene sali m'maofisi mwathumu okuti mukhoza kuthandizira zinthu zina. This is our country. So tikuthokozeni kwambiri koma mujatanenera muja kuti panapita kanthawi tisanakumane mukhoza kukhala kuti muli ndi mafunso ena a current affairs. Kodi chakuti chija chutani mwina ka 20 minutes akaka ona minister may just 20 minutes imene tikhoza kufunsana kuti izi zataizi zatrades kodi pali mafunso ena okuti munachayo mundiyimbira foni mawa nditengerepo mpata kuti majeza ake omwewa mawa ndikhala ndi mwina kumajowajowa kwita mpata umene tifunseni mafunso aja. Anything to do with your government? Yes, Mr. Alex. Yes.
The Vice President.
Abasani Mike.
It's okay. Honorable Minister, yesterday, actually this afternoon, the Vice President did say during a political rally in Chiroman that his motorcade has been reduced, including the sweeper. And his security detail has been asked not to carry weapons. I just wanted to confirm whether that is true and why has his security detail been reduced and apparently been redirected elsewhere. Isn't this putting him at a risk, especially during this campaign period?
Okay. Bali, Enaso, Kathe. Meno gundi anganiramu.
Kani ya Vice President. Mwe bakula kuja paluka. Ziboneka kuti kuchipani chomwe alokudzidwa kwambiri. Paka kumanja itanilizayi. Kukoma kusina kwambiri koma kuchipani ziboneka kuti kuchipani ziboneka kuti akukudzidwa kwambiri ndi maclaims onena kuti mboma mumuli umbava. Tinene kuti chimenecho nde kuvomereza kuti kulidi umbava kubomako. Sinanga the party seems to be very concerned. Kuti ngati mukunena kuti kuli umbava mungotola pasudi ndo muchoke mu mbomako. Ndikuchita concede kumene kokuna kuti umbava ulipo. Komanso bwanji ngati potingana kuti current affairs bwanji nkhani zokhudza boma kuchipani kukuoneka kuti ali very much concerned to extent kumapempha kumauza not kuapempha ausi kuti atole pasudi ndo. Komanso what do you make of what ausi has been saying recently? What do you want me to ask?
No, thank you very much. I think pazifukwa zochuluka ndipemphe kuti akutrade nkhani zimusankhire nawe. All right. Nkhani ya motorcade yokuti pasunthidwapo china chake imene ena anandifunsa masana ano ndipo ndinazo kuti ndikuyembekezera a PS aku office imeneyoyo kuti akhoza kufotokozerapo ngati pasunthidwa china chilichonse akatifotokozera kuti pali kusintha kwa china chilichonse zimenezo ndiye kuti tiyankhanaso mafunso kuseri kuti kodi nzoona kapenayi komanso kuti tingachite chani to make sure kuti that office ikukhalabe mmene malamulo anayikhazikitsira kuti zisamalidwa motani because zimene zimakhala attached to the office of the presidency yonse ndi zinthu zokhazikika malinga ndi mmene malamulo amakhazikitsira so zimenezo sizimasunthidwa mwachisawawa nzachikhazikikire zimenezo. Nkhani zokuti achipani akuyankhira bwanji nkhani zokhudza tendizivomera as Malawians kuti anthu amene timapezeka tili m'bomafe timakhalanso ndifa kuchipani. Ndipo pamene ndili kuchipani nali lero pa campaign trail nda president we had whistle stops kumene kuja nkhale makaka navala achipani koma kuchoka kumene kubwera kuno takavula zimene zija koma munthu wake ndi Moses Kunkuyu yemwe uja amene masanano tamuona akupanga zachipani koma mbali nayo vala jaketinso yakuboma. Ndeti zisiyanitsa zimene zayankhulidwa pa political podium akayankhanso andale zisiya andale aziyankhana. Mukhoza kuvomerezana nane kuti we have the vice president amenenso ndi president wa chipani and kumene amayankhulira zimene mukunenazo ndiye kuti ndi kuchipani ndiye adzipani ayankhana. Ineyo ngati panayankhulidwa china chokhudza ngati panayankhulidwa china chokhudzana kuti kuboma, right? Like what does government make of the other claims? Ngati boma ndife othokoza kuti chimene president chakwera wakhala kumanena kuti mdziko muno mulikatangale maofisi ambiri, the presidency now yonse ikuyankhula chinthu chimodzi. Ndikuti onse amene ali mu presidency muja akuyankhula chinthu chimodzi imene president chakwera wakhala kunena kuti mdziko muno mulikatangale, koma what we need sizongonena koma tiye tigwirane manja tithane ndi katangale. Ndi Malawi amene ali kunthalire, Malawi amene ali kumalaka, chimene amayembekezera nchakuti inu takuyikani pampando, ndekodi inu amene muli pampando ono mudzingotiuza kuti kumene kuli katangale, kapena tsopano muyamba kumatiuza kuti katangale uja ndi uyalapa. Nyumba tumapezeka kuti ine potuluka jaketi yanga yajeka zoti akhoswetuyo, amayi sheti ya mvano yajeka khoswetuyo, mwana sukulu ya uniform yajeka khoswetuyo, ndetonse kumangoti nyumba muli khoswe tivomerezana because ine jaketi yanga inajidwapo mulidi khoswe, amayi yamva inajidwapo mulidi khoswe nyumbamo, mwana uniform yajidwapo mulidi khoswe nyumbamo. Koma I mean, is that what we want? Tidzingoza na nyumba muli khoswe, koma we are waiting for that day when aradzaruze khoswe uja walowa boili ndete ndipo. That's what we are waiting for. So Amalawi tizidikiria chimene chocho tosefe tikunena zomwezo, achakwera kunena zomwezo, a vice president akunena zomwezo, pa ministers vetu kunena zomwezo, koma Amalawi akuyembekezera kuti tsiku lina lake tatulozerani khoswe uja walowa boili ndipo tonse tenditsekere timuphe khoswe amene. So we are happy kuti even the vice president akunena zimene zija, ndipo takondwa kwambiri kuti he is willing to go beyond kumangoti nyumba muno muli khoswe, akuti atilozera kuti kuli khoswe kuboere, tosefe takonzeka tikaphana naye khoswe amene akangotolozera. Tali mafunso ena?
Osayiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.